What is up, guys? Stark here. In today's character spotlight, I am taking a look at Henry Jekyll and Hyde. So this is a very interesting, very unique character that I quite like. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started on the character spotlight. So for this video, I'm pretty much just going to refer to him as Hyde. So he is a 3-star assassin, so he will go up to level 70, and at level 70 he will have 9,675 HP and 6,320 attack. So this will rank him 72nd overall in HP and 92nd overall in attack. Now his stats may seem pretty low at first, but that is kind of misleading because of the way the character works, and I will explain how that happens and how this character works in the video. But his stats are a lot better than what they initially look like. If you do decide to max him out, he will end up with 15,118 HP and 10,553 attack. So moving on here to his servant skills. So his skills are going to be very unique, and they might not make much sense right now. I'm sure you'll probably already realize what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. But in case you don't, I will explain that his Noble Phantasm changes him from Jekyll into Hyde. So just keep that in mind when I'm talking about his skills. So first up is the Monstrous Strength B. So this is a self buff that will increase his attack for 3 turns. But it will also further increase his attack while Hyde for 3 turns. So when you're Jekyll, it'll be a 5% increase at level 1 and then a 15% increase at level 10. And then when you're Hyde, it'll be an additional 25% increase at level 1 and a 35% increase at level 10. So as you guys can see there, that is just a ridiculous attack buff. And they do stack for both of them if you're Hyde. So that's just going to be a tremendous amount of attack boosts for 3 turns, which is really insane. Next up here for his second skill is going to be the Voice of Panic A. So this skill is kind of weird. It will stun the enemy, but it will also increase the stun rate for you. So while you're Jekyll, it'll be a 5% increase at level 1 and a 15% increase at level 10. But when you're Hyde, it'll be an 85% increase at level 1 and a 135% increase at level 10. So it has a base 10% chance to stun, but if you're Hyde, and with max level, it's going to be an insane... you're almost guaranteed to stun the enemy with this skill. If you're Hyde, if you're Jekyll, it's not going to be that good of an odds. You still have a chance, but obviously, his skill set is more geared towards him being Hyde than Jekyll. And you guys can see here in the skills that it definitely is, geared towards that. And then for his third and final skill, it's the Self-Modification D. This will increase his critical strength for 3 turns, and then while he's Hyde, it will further increase his critical strength for 3 turns. So again, this is a 5% increase at level 1, goes up to a 15% increase at level 10 for Jekyll. And then for Hyde, it'll be a 25% increase at level 1 and a 35% increase at level 10. So again, these skills do stack, so you're going to be getting a massive critical strength bonus here when you are Hyde for 3 turns. And overall, there's not much else to say here. You're just going to be doing a ton of damage with this character as Hyde, and this is kind of why I said his stats are misleading. Because once you turn into Hyde, you're going to be hitting like a truck, and it's pretty nice. I really do like this character. So now moving on here to his class skills. So he does technically have 2 class skills, but he as Jekyll he has 1 and as Hyde he has 1. So as Jekyll, he's gonna have the Presence Concealment A, which will increase his critical star generation by 10%. And then when he's Hyde, he's gonna have the Madness Enhancement A, which will increase his Buster Card effectiveness by 10%. So depending on which one you are, he's going to have that different effect. Obviously, you're going to rather have him on Hyde for the increased Buster Card effectiveness, and I'll explain just in a little bit how to get him to go into Hyde. For now, though, we're going to talk about his Ascension. So for his first Ascension, he's going to need 4 Assassin pieces and 30,000 Quantum pieces. For his second Ascension, he's going to need 8 Assassin pieces, 15 Evil Bones, and 100,000 Quantum pieces. For his third Ascension, he's going to need 4 Assassin Monuments, 13 Void Dust, and 4 Octuplet Crystals, as well as 300,000 Quantum Pieces. And then for his final Ascension, he's going to need 8 Assassin Monuments, 7 Octuplet Crystals, 8 Homunculus Babies, and 900,000 Quantum Pieces. And then for his skill enhancements, level a skill up from 1 to 10, you're going to need 12 Gems of the Assassin, 12 magic gems of the assassin, 12 secret gems of the assassin, 20 void dust, 30 evil bones, 7 heart of the foreign god, 16 homunculus babies, 1 crystallized lore, and 13,600,000 quantum pieces. So now for his command cards and his normal Phantasm. For his command cards, he has 2 quick, 1 art, and 2 busters. So this is pretty nice. You do have the quicks for Jekyll and the buster for Hyde, but you do primarily want to use him more on a buster card setup, with Hyde being a insane buster card. And his Noble Phantasm is buster as well, and this is a very unique Noble Phantasm. And what it does is it will transform Jekyll into Hyde, and then it will increase his maximum HP as well as healing him back to full HP. And then on the overcharge, it will increase his buster card effectiveness permanently. So at level 1, you're going to increase your maximum HP by 2,000, and at level 5, you're going to increase it by 5,000. And then for the buster card effective increase on the overcharge, it can go up to 60% at max overcharge. So ideally, you want to get his overcharge maxed out completely before you do this. This is you can only use the Noble Phantasm once, so once you transform into Hyde, that's it. So you definitely want to make sure it is as high as you can get it, so you get the most out of it when you transform, because once you transform, there's no going back. So definitely make sure you're ready to transform. There is an interlude you can do to make it a little bit stronger. It'll just increase the amount of HP, like you increase like the maximum HP you'll gain. So it's not that much, but it's something. And then you also get an additional 20% increase to your buster card effectiveness. And this is a permanent increase. It's not just for 1 turn or 3 turns or whatever. It's permanent. So as long as you're Hyde, you're going to be getting this increase, and it's going to go up to 80%, which is absolutely ridiculous. So you could do some insane stuff with him. Also, I forgot to mention, he does transform into a berserker, so he'll go from an assassin to a berserker. So he's going to be doing even more damage on top of that. So yeah, this guy, like I said before, his stats are very misleading. Once you transform into Hyde, this character is going to hit like an absolute truck, and he's just a really nice character, really cool. I'm definitely enjoying using him. I'm going to try leveling him up a bit more. So now for some craft essences. First up is his level 10 bonds, which is going to be the self-restraints, and while equipped, this will increase buster card effectiveness for your entire party by 15%. So it's definitely not a bad option to use. You already have like so much buster card increase. Why not add a few more on top of that? You could also, if you don't even want to care about your party, you could just go ahead and throw in some other ones here, like the Verdant Sound of Destruction or Limited Zero Over. Just make his buster card effectiveness as high as possible to do the most damage you can possibly do. Another really good one to use is Kaleidoscope. So obviously, you want to get your overcharge as quickly as possible. Having a max limit broken Kaleidoscope where you can just start the battle with 100% is going to be phenomenal and make it that much easier for you to get Hyde out and with maximum stats, with maximum potential as quickly as possible. Because Hyde, Jekyll is just, he's not, he's really bad, honestly. There's no way else to say it. He's not like, there's things you could do with him, but obviously you're trying to get Hyde out as quickly as you can. But Jekyll, he doesn't have that much HP. He's really easy to kill. So you want to get to Hyde as quickly as possible so you can get that heal. You can get the maximum increase for your HP. At max level, that's gonna be 5,000 to 6,000 HP. Like that's actually like almost double what you already have. You're probably not going into it with max HP. So definitely want to get to Hyde as quickly as you can. So now moving on to the character in review. So first up, for some of the servants you can use. So first up here, I have Mash as a really good servant. Now this is going to be, obviously Mash is going to be better when she's a 4-star servant. She's not currently there yet in Global, but she's still a really good servant to use, and she'll just keep on getting better and better as the game progresses, and she keeps getting, upgrades because she gets upgrades in the story and stuff. But she's still a really good servant. As Jekyll, like I said, he's really weak. He goes down really fast. So Mash would be really good to keep him alive to get into Hyde. She can also help with his Noble Phantasm gauge increase. And overall just, increase defense. Make sure that he's not targeted. and just, you know, like I said, just make it so that he survives long enough to make it to Hyde. Next up, as a pretty solid choice here, is going to be Thomas Edison. So he's pretty much here just to use his third skill, which will increase the overcharge by 2 levels. So if you have this maxed out or whatever, you could just go ahead and, if you have, say, a max Kaleidoscope, you can go ahead and use that, pop his third skill, and you're already at overcharge level 3 without even trying. So, you know, maybe just a couple turns later, if you get a good arts chain or something, you should be good to get him going, you know, max overcharge, max level, get him into Hyde as quickly as possible. So Edison will definitely be a really good option for that. Next up, we have Hans. So Hans doesn't really do much as far as helping him with his normal Phantasm increase, but he's gonna just help boost his stats overall across the board. You know, Hans has one of the best normal Phantasms in the game with the attack and defense increase as well as healing. So if you need to use this while he's Jekyll, it'll definitely help keep him alive long enough. And if you're using him as Hyde, you know, the attack and defense increase is always going to be nice. You know, Hyde already hits like a truck, so why not throw a few more buffs his way? So overall, you know, Hans is a pretty solid servant to use. And then last but not least, we have Waiver. You know, I've talked about Waiver so many times. It's just the same thing over and over. He's got an amazing skill set. All of his skills will help increase Null Phantasm gauge as well as buff. So you get the, you know, attack increase, defense increase, critical strength increase. You just throw him on Jekyll or Hyde, and you're just going to be hitting like a truck. If you're Jekyll, you're going to get that Noble Phantasm increase to help you go into Hyde faster, and that's pretty much the goal of this character. Just get to Hyde as quickly as possible with as high as overcharge as possible. And you know, he does also have that stun Noble Phantasm, so you can kind of stun lock with his Noble Phantasm and then use Hyde for his second skill to stun. So overall, you know, there's a lot of things you can do with Waiver, and that should be no surprise. Like, Waiver is one of the best characters in the game currently, and he fits on pretty much any team. So now for his star rankings. First up is going to be his stat rankings. Now, as Jekyll, he has some extremely low stats, but as Hyde, you know, he turns that around. He gets, you know, much better stats. So overall, I'm going to give him 3 stars for his stats. And then next up here for his skills. As Hyde, he's got an insane skill set, you know, doing like a ton of damage, and that stun is just absolutely phenomenal. So most of this stuff I'm considering only as Hyde. So like, I was thinking about doing like a dual ranking, so like have each category for Jekyll and Hyde, but I decided against that, and I'm just looking at like Hyde, because you're gonna probably spend most of the fight as Hyde to begin with. So overall for his skills, I'm giving him 4 stars. Next up here for his Noble Phantasm. Originally I was going to give this a much lower ranking because you can only use his Noble Phantasm once. But, you know, after thinking about it, it doesn't take away from the fact that this Noble Phantasm is actually, you know, is really good. It's very unique. It does a lot of really cool things. So I decided to change my initial ranking of it, and I did give it a 3-star overall. I think that's pretty fair. You know, I would probably be higher if you could use it multiple times. But at the same time, I don't even know if you'd want to use it multiple times, and maybe if it had like after you transformed into Hyde, you'd have like a second Noble Phantasm where you would transform back into Jekyll or something like that. Outside of that, I don't really see any other way why you would want to use it, because Hyde is clearly the better option of the 2. But yeah, 3 stars overall for his Noble Phantasm. Next up is his survivability. He really doesn't have much, honestly. As Jekyll, he will go down extremely fast. But as Hyde, you know, he does have that Noble Phantasm, which will increase his maximum HP and then do a self-heal up to 100%. So, you know, that does help his survivability quite a lot, because, you know, you're going to add a huge chunk of HP to your, you know, your HP bar to begin with, and then you're going to heal it all back up. So you're basically having 2 full lives with this character. But outside of that, he has no defense, no evasion, no other healing, and the Noble Phantasm can only be used once. You know, so you have to make sure you use it properly, otherwise you're going to be wasting it. But yeah, so 2.5 stars for his survivability. And then for his versatility, I am giving him 3 stars here. He can be both an assassin and a berserker, so he can find his way onto a few more teams because of that. And you don't always have to switch him into Hyde. You know, Jekyll, while he's really not that good of a servant overall, he can do a few good things, especially if you have your skills maxed out. You're probably not really going to get too much as far as the stun. But if you do need an assassin and, you know, for like earlier waves or something, and then you can transform into Hyde later. You know, it's not a bad option, and he doesn't really need that much support. Like he can sustain himself pretty well without any other like teammates to help him. So you can throw him onto a few other teams, and then once you get him to Hyde, he'll be doing a ton of damage. And then, you know, maybe bring like one ally or just to like help him move into Hyde a little bit faster. But he doesn't really need too much as far as support. So yeah, 3 stars overall for versatility. So overall that gives him a 3.1 out of 5 here. Maybe I'm giving him a little bit of a higher ranking than he should get, because I really like the character design. I really like how unique this character is, and I wish more characters were like this. Maybe not like multiple personalities, but you know, just have something unique to that character. A lot of characters have the same set of skills or same variations of skills, so it's really nice to see something unique and different in this game. So that's gonna wrap up this character spotlight. I will leave you guys here with Jekyll and Hyde's The Phantasm. Don't forget to check out the links below for my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Patreon, all that fun stuff. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.
飲むしかないのか。